Alright, welcome back everyone to Pixel Perfect Marathon 4. I hope you are now ready for MACROSS Shooting Inside. Mageuis1 here, Mageuis is here, to run the game using Shin on hard with the DLC. Yeah, I'll be helping a little bit with comms here, even though I'm not very familiar with the game. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, Mageuis, take it away.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan. Before we start, I need to explain a little bit about the run. Short answer is it is a hybrid shmup with all three different styles of vertical, horizontal, and 360 degrees. Now, before I get started, I need to explain one thing about the health in this game. So you'll see me take out one of the bosses here with very low health. And essentially, crap. I took a death. Best way to describe it. If I take a death, I not only have to go back to the beginning of the stage, any health that I would have remains the same. Even though I get a full heal here, I would not get a full heal if I had completed that boss. I would have been going to the next stage with only a little bit of extra healing, and the fact of what I would have with my stats. But enough about that. So before we get started, as part of the run, we gotta showcase that we are using the default setup for the health and assist attack, as well as the DLC mode, since the game is nice enough to give you that option, although it won't let you submit things to the online leaderboards if that. But the other part of it, Shin here, which I will show the character off, each of the characters has their own unique stats, and representing all the different franchises, all the different shows. Shin is from the OVAs from the 2000s, based off of the prequel. Anyway, we'll want to put up auto healing here. Don't worry, it's allowed in the rules because, well, as I said, we don't get much healing at all. It only at the end of the stages. Anyway, we'll get a start at 3, 2, 1, let's go! Oh, whoops, yeah, I'll lose a second on that one for forgetting that there's a text box for that one, but either way. So, our first battle here, Nebula Field, it's pretty easy. It's, all the other stuff. You see the health bar up in the top left, our assist attack in the bottom left, our shot rate and the shot damage, as well as the rate for our score. Missiles here will increase our score. Positive note about the Switch version is some of the hitboxes are not there, so it does make it a little bit easier. And you'll notice that I'm destroying some of these satellites here. These are purely to help with increasing one of the actual systems in the game, which is music, which is one of the key features in the Macross franchise. Music, love, and the variable fighters are the three main themes that appear throughout the entire franchise. This game being one of the celebrations of its over 40 years, where you get to play as like all the different a lot of the main characters from it in the variable fighters. So we're quickly clicking around the analog stick and going from here. Jonathan, do you want to introduce yourself while I'm getting through the first section here?
Yeah, I'm Jonathan, GS, call me Jonathan. Yeah, I only played the Famicom version of this game, which is very straightforward auto-scroller, horizontal auto-scroller, but I think this game will feature various kinds of scroll. Like there will be vertical, there will be horizontal, as in the Famicom game. There's also like 360, which you'll see later. So yeah, I'm not very familiar with this game, but I've played the original one, the Famicom one.
Yeah. And we're just getting to the second section where you see me transform into the Battleoid, the giant mech version of it. The fighter that we have turns into three different forms. You have Battleoid, which is the mech version, the fighter, and then the other mode, which is called the Yearwalk, or Guardian for you Robotech fans out there. Anyway, we want to destroy these satellites here, avoid some of the damage. If you notice how, just how much I am getting with some health and not, thank God for the auto healing, because that was not the best opener on that one, but still, we're now transforming into the fighter mode again. Our ship is known as the Valkyrie, and Shin here is the main character from the OVAs from the mid-2000s, which was a prequel set of 6 episodes telling the story of the end of the Great War and him being recruited by Roy, one of the other characters, to join the defense force, you know, and help test things out. Now, those crystals here do power up the attacks. Shoutouts to the developers, including some amazing music from the franchise. And that's the first stage done.
So I guess like all the reason that you've been collecting all these crystals all these times because like these bosses, if you have powerful weapons, it will be faster to defeat the bosses.
Yes. As you notice in the upper right corner, you'll see a shot gauge that slowly depletes over time. Notice that the area rank is based off of, you know, not based off of time, but score and other stuff like that. And you do get a health bonus at the end, but if you notice how I will start each mission with whatever health remaining from the previous mission, and that end screen healing is essentially the only healing I get until mission 5. And a death will send you back to the beginning of the screen stage. Now, there is 2 different ways to run the game. You have arcade mode and story mode. Story mode, you can skip cutscenes, but it does give you a different stage order. However, it does matter for the final mission because it is a medley of music from all the different stages, as we're out to rescue idols from the various shows. Which means we get some kick-ass, amazing music from the franchise. Now, this is the...
Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was about to ask, like in the original game, between like 3 various battle modes that you mentioned, like the Battleoid and Gerwalk and Fighter, like the speed of the auto-scroller changes. Like is it the case in here as well?
No, sadly, they decided to go with a default thing on that one because it was one of the first games made by the company. I forget which company it is, but it's one of the newer studios that one of the I think it was like one of the more anime companies decided to spin off to create an actual game company for it. There's a few others coming later in the year, but position ourselves here to avoid some of the attacks. This stage here is like, because I got my start with shmups from side-scrolling, I am best at this style of that one alongside the 360 twin stick style, which we noticed in that section where I was not able to where I had to constantly keep moving. That's because the way that you aim in those sections is with the right stick, and even pulling back to 0, you know, essentially hitting a direction and then letting it go, does not reset it back, so you have to actually constantly move the stick to control it. And I will add, if you notice those satellites that I've been exploring, they help with the little synchronization thing in the bottom, in the center of the left side of the screen, with unlocking bonuses from the idols, as the music is meant to accompany the battles, just like in the franchise, you know, giving a sense of importance to the actual events.
So you mentioned about like if there's no like auto heal, and then if you accidentally dying, like you need to restart the start of the level, like so like you can probably abuse that. Like if your health is low, you can intentionally killing yourself like at the start of the level so that time loss won't be big.
Yes.
Is that yeah?
Yes, there is that too. However, in the rules, allowing for auto heal is to basically prevent players from constantly have to do that, and also to allow for newer runners to pick up the run. Each character does have its own leaderboard, although I've got to add the other characters. Shin I like just because he's got a lot of good damage output to it, and return like that, and we just beat the second mission. If you notice how it is in the 363 mode, and how, you know, quick and easy some of it can be. Because the faster we kill bosses, the less bullet hell type boss patterns to deal with.
And here, like before each like transition of a section, like you're manually try to move to the center of the stage, because otherwise, like it will waste some seconds to do it.
Yes,
that is a bit of an optimization, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. And now, Domain of the Wind, one of my favorite, well, the first section is one of my favorite sections, because this is where I first figured out some of the speed tech for it. I will slowly loop around here, flop up here, missile attack here. The one nice thing about the assist attack is it is a full screen attack, and the shots here you can hit off screen if you position properly. So we want to try to do that, and also when the last thing spawns, we want to start dealing damage as fast as possible. And if done properly, we can get rid of it before the text box appears.
Right, so I guess that's the only like the non-auto scroller part where you have to actually like use your weapon and destroy the enemies as fast as you can, while these like vertical and horizontal scrolling are mostly auto scroller, but you just try to gain as much crystals as you can.
And survive.
And survive, obviously, yep.
I mean, people don't think, you know, that there's a lot of skill in these sometimes, but you would be surprised about how much, you know, it's all about actual precise movement and survivability. Which actually does make for a great speedrun, because you see more along the lines of just pure control a runner has versus like other stuff. Which its skill in and of itself is something that, you know, a lot of runners do sometimes, you know, take for granted. I mean, you can't be perfect unless you can control a game, and if you can control a game, you can do a lot of things with it. You'll see me leading the enemy's attacks to the side so I can avoid taking damage. Now, I will mention that I am actually using a Switch Pro controller, as this is the Switch version of the game that I'm playing. However, the game is also out on PC and PS4 and PS5. And later in the year, it is getting a proper English release. I'll pop an assist attack here just to basically save stuff. Containers that you see me destroying are essentially unlockables that are for the game on that one. Sort of a bonus on that one, but I'm doing it anyway because I can. Now here's one of our rivals from the game's Rivals mode. I will be quiet for a minute to take out this boss because they can be a pain.
Yep, again, this is where all the crystals collection for, like, upgrade your weapons, make the weapons more lethal.
This is also where you'll see me bust out some more assist attacks, because they can actually get rid of all enemy attacks on screen. So using that there, and you also see me using like that roll. You'll see me pick up here just to actually get some extra missile damage on it. And because of that, it's a bit easier to avoid some of the enemies. Okay, which way do I get? Ah, not the best way. You have a choice of it sometimes going left, sometimes going right, and figuring out which direction on that one is important. And if you notice, this is me popping like the assist attack just to get rid of all the attacks, and damage tanking to use some iframes to get rid of the enemy faster. Jin is a bit more straightforward, unlike some of the other characters, but him having one of the highest attack stats and HP makes him great for the speedrun. The other characters do have their own unique abilities, but when a spread attack barely does damage, this type of stuff, you sort of want to go with the more consistent damage output. And now we're on Attack of the Orions, which the enemies we're killing are not Orions, but they're more drones that are launched by the Orions. Don't ask me to explain all of the MACROSS storyline. I only know the original set on that one, and it's been years since, but I have asked the community for a lot of help on that one, trying to describe some of it. Shoutouts to Disney for actually releasing it later, finally helping to bring the franchise to the West later in the year. Not as owning it, but just revealing it on Disney Plus. Avoid the attacks there, down here. So the times it's all... go ahead.
No, I've never actually watched the anime myself as well.
Yes, but it's
when it comes to the West.
It is one of those things that it is one of the OGs for its impact on the mecha genre, with helping to popularize the transforming mecha genre, as well as the music that has been from the series. In fact, it's even at one point during its lifetime even had an actual on-stage musical.
Ooh. Like in the West or in Japan?
Japan.
Oh, okay.
Then again, it's not unheard of to some degree. I mean, other famous examples is like Prince of Tennis. Hell, even Sailor Moon had one at one point. Because Japan loves their stuff from that one. Anyway, you'll see me go down here, move this slowly, wiggling back and forth to avoid some of the enemy attacks, picking up some of the crystals, because as you notice that my shot will decrease over time, and so we want to maintain that as much as possible at its highest level of 5. I'll note that the franchise was also one of the first to actually have a virtual idol in one of the later series. And you'll get to hear some music from that. By virtual idol, I mean closer to VTuber.
So yeah, we've been seeing you using like basically 2 different kind of weapons here. The one that just goes straight to the main weapon, and the one that has like auto aim kind of thing. Like, what's the difference between the two of them? Yeah, the missiles.
The normal weapon is just the normal weapon. The missiles, however, can go in 360 degrees, so you will see me use them to target some things a bit easier because of being able to actually utilize that.
And I guess like there's a limit to the missiles, that's why you cannot keep using them.
Yeah, if you notice up in the upper left-hand corner, the slight thing above the attack bar that is in the very left corner, that is the number of missiles we have at a time. They do reload pretty fast, though. Avoid the attack there. In this instance, we want to try to survive, get rid of one boss. That one, and I've got to be quiet for a little bit here because this can be a little bit of a pain if I screw up the rolls. And getting this set up. You can't really use the assist attack to get rid of those enemy attacks, so you want to actually try and avoid them using our dodge roll. Hack. Could have avoided that a bit more, and I could actually be using the missiles to hit them while doing the roll, but the problem is that involves you legitimately using both a left and right analog stick movements, and I don't know about you all, but trying to dodge while doing that is a bit of a pain. And that is Attack of the Orions done. Now, note how much health I am leaving with. This is a good example of just how much I would be starting stage 5 without having the auto healing. That would be all I would have for stage 5. That little bit of health increase. Now, this may be on hard mode, but the game's actual online leaderboards, which only counts for score, actually, you can only really post it if you manage to not only not die, but not even restart. Well, although, fun fact, no one has beaten it on hard mode, or very hard mode, and posted a time to it. And yours truly, last I checked, still has the first place position for score on it for the at least making it a couple stages in.
Yeah, I guess if you die and then you restart the level, you can gain more score, right? Because you can shoot more enemies, so that's why it's not allowed.
You'll keep the actual, you won't get any more score, but for some reason the developers wanted you to actually try to play perfectly, and I get it, I do. But also allowing for, more actual people to pick up the run, and it just helps to allow for the very basic auto healing. Although, fun fact, even though it says invoke there, and then there's a boosted version, when the game launched, it only had auto healing on and auto healing off. When the very first patch for the game, post day 1, came, it was to legitimately give second level of auto healing because people had yet to really do that on the harder difficulties. I may be making this game look a bit easier, but it can be a little harder at the start. And now we'll want to actually use the attack here to clear out the screen. This is purely to help with avoiding some damage, as well as using the giant assist attack to get rid of some of the enemies here. Get rid of that there, dodge there. I will point out that the fact is when we use our dodge ability in a stage like this, we do move to further parts on the screen, but it does not reset to a center point of the screen, so I do have to be aware of that. And
What?
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, what happened if the timer runs out just now?
I have never really had it happen.
Yeah.
This is the. Although note that what we're using here is the gear walk, the hybrid between the fighter and the giant Battleoid. Fun fact: the reason why the Battleoid even exists is because in the first series, story-wise, humanity basically just got out from a global war, with Shin being one of the participants in that one, thanks to him being from the prequel. But the war ended in a single night because, well, alien ship crash lands on planet, and humanity realizes that it's not alone. Not my cleanest. Also, shoutouts to the meme of the anime character eating a withered leaf. That is actually from Macross Plus, if I recall correctly. It's either Plus or 7. But it's also one of the main characters. It's whatever one where they actually use the power of music to fight enemies. I'm not joking, that was legitimately a theme of one of those things. But the franchise has gone through several different styles of music throughout the years. Everything from the pop idol sensation of the 80s all the way up through like rock. I don't think they've done country yet, but they've done choir styles to some degree, and even the full modern idol groups. And a lot of
Someone in the
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
No,
go
someone
ahead.
someone in the chat says music is a real jam. The music
Yes,
is
it
a real
is.
jam.
Yes, it is. It's one of the very good benefits of this one, and it being such a prominent feature in the franchise as well as the game. I've never had it DMCA on Twitch or even YouTube, so feel free to actually enjoy it on that one. And we'll avoid attacks here. Yeah. Someone's calling me. I ain't answering it because it's in the middle of the run. So sorry, y'all. We'll avoid the attacks here. At this stage, we're just trying to lean the... we're basically trying to position the enemies to attack off-screen. And I've got to be careful because very low at health present. And we don't want to see a death here because of, as I said, having to restart from the beginning of a stage. Quickly do some dodge rolls. Avoid some attacks there. Avoid some attacks there, and sorry all, you won't see the 1cc.
Yeah, Lighty asks here in the chat, do they have arcade versions of this?
Arcade version, there has been one ages back, but at present it's just been home console. However, I am using the arcade mode for the game. But it is also on all three. It is basically on almost all the modern hardware. So, and it's also the latest game to come out, and it's also the first one coming to the West. Even though I'm playing the Japanese version, you can pick it up on Steam right now, no matter where you are worldwide. The only thing you really cannot get is the DLC present, but the fact that they are having an English patch. I won't say English patch, but an English localization coming out later in the year is actually unique for the franchise, as it would be the first time for an official localization.
Do you know if the old arcade version is the same as the Famicom version? Because like many Famicom games, like
I actually do not. They've had a lot of different styles over the years, although for some reason it's been more shmup than a lot of other stuff. Although I do know from the 90s they did have a decent amount of strategy games. This franchise has also appeared in the Robot Wars franchise as well, for those that know of it. pop an assist attack here because at present I am not playing my best and I don't want to die. Because we want the assist attack for the boss. And again, positioning in the center. And transitioning to the vertical section here. Each stage is basically divided into 3 sections. The first one can be, one of any type on that one. The second one is, usually a different type for the most part. There are some where you do have the same style on that one. We're going to fly this way. Avoid some attacks here. Avoid some more attacks here. Fly this way. You may notice me actually dragging off some of the enemies. This is purely because a bit lower in health. And you also notice me using our dodge roll to avoid some of the attacks. Slide that way. One nice thing about the missiles is that it does give you the extra benefits of giving some extra, basically of the homing. Not the best assist attack, but it shouldn't be that hard with the boss because you should be able to get some more back. Now, the giant ship here will start by attacking left, then right, left, right, then both together. So we're going to try to squeeze in some spots where we can avoid some of the attacks. Then we'll pop an assist attack here. Notice the benefit for here is giving us a faster recovery rate for the assist attack. We want to collect some more of the crystals, position ourselves just so we can avoid the attacks, and we want to wait till the giant lasers to pop the assist attack here, just so that way we can get rid of the enemy faster while not having to deal with the bonus from it. Pop that there, and we get the added benefit of killing the enemy slightly faster because of using the assist attacks together. It will let us kill the enemy without having to deal with the final little bit of health. Only one death so far, but it's can't be helped on that one. At least it's not a death further into the game where time loss can be even more costly.
So the Ferris battle mode, like, you can manually change it, right? It's not like during some section it's automatically changed.
In this game, it was actually one of the biggest complaints that they actually did not have that for some reason.
Ah, okay.
They decided to keep it with just having each section be you're stuck in a certain mode. I wish that they had actually included that one because it does a good job of representing some parts of the franchise, but not the others. With the variable fighter piece on that one, sadly. Anyway, when enemies do stop, you'll see me using the missiles to guarantee that I can get rid of them as fast as possible off screen. Because although there is not as much lag in this game as you would expect from this type of stuff, it does mean that it does help me with avoiding attack damage because you can see them constantly being able to follow their attacks on screen, and you don't really want to have to avoid attacks on that one because it's, well, you can tell like how much some of the stuff can get to be on screen. Positive though, I don't know whether it's Switch exclusive or not because I haven't played the other versions. Ah, crap. Sorry, y'all. Tiny bit out of practice, but I still intend to make y'all proud. As normally I've gotten good enough to be able to 1cc the game quite a few times. In fact, world record for Shin is with a 1cc. Going to be using the missiles here. Sweep that way, sweep some there. Quickly pop some of the missiles here so I can lead some more of the attacks off screen, as we want to be able to do that to basically allow for some more ease of movement. And I will state one thing, although I don't know if it's Switch exclusive or not, but some of the attacks do have hitboxes that are a little janky to where they will not appear. Some do have hitboxes, some don't. I don't know if that's meant to be Switch exclusive, or if it's just something with how they coded the hitboxes for the Switch version, as I have not played the other versions. If you're wondering why the Switch version didn't want to have to trade, adjusting my Steam account to Japan to get the version on Steam, and I did not, and I don't own a PS4 or a PS5. So you
Yeah, Lighty here actually Lighty here in the chat just says Steam sale next week. But yeah, unfortunately we don't have the English language yet, even in Steam, so we just have to wait, I guess.
Yeah, but you can still play it on Steam if those that want to pick it up now. And when the game does come out in English, I do intend to have even more notes for everybody that would be interested to pick up the run. I even have a small boss tutorial for the game on normal, with some examples of how it can look even on very hard mode. As a lot of the boss strategies, at least for Shin, are a bit the same, although they do differ depending on which character you're using because of attack strength of the character. Move here, slide over here, slide up here, with the music, pop an assist attack here. Now, if I'm recalling correctly, this is one of the longest boss fights in the game coming up, but the music for it, yep, I was correct in remembering it. This piece here is one of the only pieces where you can get a little bit of healing from the music itself. So, fun fact, if I was not using auto-healing, this would be where I would get my best amount of healing in the game, apart from an end of stage. And this is how many stages in? But this is more of like the jazzy number with the 360-degree style, or what I like to call dancing with the game, because the style that we're basically moving it. And see me use this there. Move to avoid all the attacks.
So we've seen 360 view, we've seen horizontal and vertical scroll. This game has one more, right? Where like the camera is from over the shoulder kind of thing.
Yes.
Will we see that during this run?
Yes, we will. It is actually required for for two of the boss fights and for one of the sections. In fact, the final boss has a section of that in there. You'll notice me dodging from this way to set up the enemy attacks that the giant lasers to avoid them. Fun fact, in the side-scrolling and that mode for the assist attack, the fact of getting a full screen clear on that one, full screen style clear, means that we get to deal out a lot more damage on bosses. This is why you see me also holding off on my assist attacks for some things, just so I can deal out a lot more damage. And getting to the final part of it, positioning it there. And you also see me try to avoid the last attacks on any boss fight, because they still have lingering hitboxes. And again, just to show like why getting to the center of the screen is important. Even a little bit off, you see me still having to move slightly to get to that one. Sort of a slight optimization, but over 10 to 11 missions, as well as transitions between each section, it adds up. That's already stage 7 done. We're now on to Edge, which actually is, try to remember, yes, it's the example of the over-the-shoulder part. During the second part of it, which can be handled a lot differently depending on character. Because some characters move faster, some actually, have better missile capacity, which is very useful. Some also have, they can target more. But, as I said, Shin's a good balanced character. So we'll be doing that one. I don't know if I've mentioned it or not, but the reason why I'm using arcade mode rather than story is although the cutscenes can be skipped, the fact that it does have a different stage order matters. It matters for the final boss because of the final stage having a medley of at least 3 different pieces of music to get to the final boss. The order in which we get them does matter for the bonuses. And I will hopefully explain that in a bit. And we'll move that way. Swap some enemies there. Pop an assist attack here just to help with screen clearing. And as you noticed, once you get to the max shot rate, you really want to keep that, so that way you do not have to repower things up. You will keep whatever shot level you've had, as I've demonstrated before, but again, you still want to try to keep that as much as possible. Here's the example of the over-the-shoulder style. So this is where the missiles come in real handy alongside normal attacks, because it's in an actual horizontal plane, so you do want to try to, avoid some attacks, avoid as much as you can. And I'll be moving here, looping around here, just avoiding as much attacks as I can. I could use the screen clear from the assist attack, but I kind of want to save it for something special, as there's a magic trick we can do with this with the boss coming up here. And I hope you all will enjoy it. It's not so much the glitch, it's not so much a glitch as, well, game knowledge. So we have to take out 2 of these giant, mech-like things. So we're gonna do this. Gonna attack down here since one will spawn there. Aim perfectly there. And set that up. Not so much a glitch, but a magic trick, as I like to call it, because it's not a glitch, as it's just abusing intended game mechanics.
No, saying game knowledge.
Yes. Essentially, because both of those bosses have hitboxes and they count as boss for the stage, the full screen assist attack just deals so much damage to that one that you can basically kill them in almost a handful of seconds. They are the fastest boss in the game. And now we are on Resonance Dimension, the stage based off of Do You Remember Love, the first movie. For a treat, and because this is DLC, you guys want to hear a bit of Do You Remember Love? Chat, what do you think? Jonathan?
Sure.
Okay, good. It's normally this stage, it takes a little bit for the music to get there, and the amount of things to destroy to get that is very little. They expect you to get a lot more in the second half with the satellites, and normally I would just avoid them all, but since this is a showcase style, I think I can take a tiny bit of time to give y'all the good chance of at least healing the beginning parts of it. And pop an assist attack here. Now, I do have to say, one of the nicest things about this game is it is pretty easy. It is a bit more straightforward to learn the speedrun to. It just requires, some game knowledge, and every character is a viable option. Pop that there. So we've got 4 to the sink, as it's sinking on that one. Ideally, I would just quickly go and get rid of all the 360-degree enemies here. But as I said, because this is a showcase, I'm gonna let y'all hear some of Do You Remember Love. In this instance, one of the other ways to get the sync ability is via kills. So you may avoid an attack here, avoid there, avoid the giant stuff there, avoid that there, And again, normally I would just be going straight for the boss, well, the loops, but again, gotta give y'all a little bit of a treat. Dodge there. Dodge there. Avoid those there. Avoid those there. Dodge there. Dodge there. Align myself perfectly here. Avoid the attacks there. And there we go. So we'll at least hear the tiniest bit of Do You Remember Love with the stink. Minmay just wants to be a little shy. Of course, he is the original idol for Macross, and Do You Remember Love is a very famous piece. With the boss here, we want to bust out the assist attack as fast as possible to clear the screen clear and allow us to attack. So that way we can just stand at certain locations and just hit them without really having to dodge much. Gotta make sure to note which side of the screen they spawn on. Pop an assist attack again. Pop an assist attack again, and that's Remembrance Dimension. Now with the DLC, you have 11 stages. There is an option to turn off the DLC, and in which case it would be only 10 stages. Salute, as that is one of the pieces from the movie, where you'd be going into one of the bosses. The big bad for the movie. Shoutouts to me actually running the PS2 version, which has the storyline for it as one of the routes.
Which stage is the DLC again? Is it just the last one?
Remembrance Dimension, the stage we just beat.
Oh, okay.
And now we're on to Alluring Planet, which is the stage from Macross 0, Shin's stage, and you'll get to hear his idol. Essentially, we are back on Earth, because Shin's storyline is from the, as I said, his is a prequel to the original. And we'll avoid some of that stuff here. Slide over there. I do love the fact of one of the interesting things about Macross has been its emphasis on the actual civilian side, well, not so much civilian side, but the showing like how the, I won't say horrors of war because it does not really show the horrors of war, but it does showcase just like, you know, what it feels like to be on a, you know, the actual side of the actual how war can take a toll on people to some degree. Not as, you know, bad as some things, but it's God, and I'm describing that hardly. Pretty hard on that one. But anyway, we're through the first of the two parts here. See me slowly shift around here. That's because on this section here, with all the enemies not moving and being in a predetermined area, it is faster to use the guns because of being able to hit a wide range of fire on it. Because I can kill more. Ah, crap, they're death. If this was a marathon with donations, that would probably be something to donate for. Because it's playing horrible at present. As I said, nervous on that one, because the first time getting to show this off in a proper marathon. Slide over here, do that there. Slide up here. Angles here, here. Missiles on the side. Avoid that one there. Sometimes you gotta take a hit just because of positioning. Move over here, slide over here. Avoid all the enemy attack patterns. Now I will say, Shin's actual side for, you know, talking about war, Zero had one of the most combat focused of the franchise, although it was not the did not have the best idol piece for it, but at the same point, being a prequel that took place years after, which was written after the fact, only certain things they could do. For example, in the original series, Super Dimension Fortress Macross, the reason why there's even an idol is because when the Zentradi, that attacked Earth 10 years after their ship, which was later named, which was called the Super Dimensional Fortress, and then renamed Macross because of the city that grew up around it. Because humanity wanting to rebuild and reverse engineer it, when they attacked, the day they attacked, took a chunk of the island with them, so they had to deal with the military had to deal with actually taking care of civilians during that, and that was one of the things they did to help with giving them some actual, I wouldn't say USO stuff, but more along the lines of, helping take their mind off of it, because it's like they had to basically go into doing a hyperspace fold, essentially being released back into around, I think it's Jupiter or Saturn. But that's just a little bit of lore from the original. And we will avoid the attacks here. Up an assist attack here. One benefit of this piece is it's one of the ones that increases the attack, the actual speed at which the assist attack recovers based on damage. So if we take a little bit of damage, we do get the ability to gain that back. Now this boss is in the over-the-shoulder perspective, but that also is a huge benefit for the fact that they take the entire brunt of damage from the assist attack. So, boom boom. So essentially we just gotta attack this one just perfectly here. And pop an assist attack, and this boss is also gone. And just like that, we are heading into the final stage. How are we looking
during
on
the
time?
race, we are 45 minutes now.
Okay. And you were saying before that?
Just now in the horizontal scroll section, whenever there's so many sprites just now, I can't even follow where Valkyrie was and it's amazing how you manage to dodge all of them
Oh, this is not the worst of them where it's hard to dodge. Or it's hard to see. I forget the character's name, but the one for the spread shot in a vertical section, sorry, in a horizontal section, you cannot really follow at all. Also, shout out to having some amazing music here. Hopefully you all got to enjoy some of it, because this is where we get our medley of music to help represent the other stuff. There is no satellites here because, well, we've rescued all the idols. And you will get to hear some of the music that we skipped because of going so fast that we got to beat the bosses before that appeared. And we want to move here, slowly angle over here, pop a missile here, pops in here, slide over this way, ever so slightly so we can clear out the screen. Popping a missile here, here. Now this mission is basically where most of the it comes from, because of any possible deaths. This mission is like a 5 to 6 minute mission, so if you can imagine, just any death just adds that much time. So I want you all to put this in chat as well, or sing it to yourself. The refrain to this is dynamite, dynamite explosion. So feel free when they get to that to sing it along.
Yeah, music is definitely jam in this game.
As I said, it's a huge piece of the franchise. And here we go, all. Dynamite, 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 explosion, 1, 2, 3. Dynamite, 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 dynamite. It's 1, 2, 3.
So the English version will translate the lyrics as well?
No. It's just going to be for text.
Got it.
But, again, since it's from an anime, words, you know, if you look up the openings, it will be there. This isn't just here. The 3 songs that are worth it in this order, and this is why I said this is important, because we get access to this. The one that actually heals. Which is one of the 3 that is included in story mode, no matter which character you're using. Although it might be more than 3, but I have never really let the final boss last long enough to see if there was more than 3. But we do get at least the 1 healing piece of music, so the game is kind to us there. Slowly angle here. Avoid the attacks there. Avoid there. Pop an assist attack here, just to clear out some of the enemy attacks. Slide over here. Hack. Move up here. Slightly higher. This is one of those rare sections where you can move forward to slightly give yourself a time advantage because you're moving forward and then transforming into stuff. But we're dancing with the game again. Again, everybody that's actually seen this game that is not known of Macross is just immediately love the music.
Yep. And the best part is no DMC here, right?
Yep.
You won't get DMC here, right?
I believe so. Haven't ever had a problem with Twitch on that one. YouTube, it's one of those things, it is a huge part of the franchise. It is a huge part of the franchise. So it's sort of like, at least in my opinion, and I can't confirm it because I haven't checked YouTube on that one, but figure that if they didn't, there would probably be very hard to provide any online coverage of it. We'll pop 2 assist attacks here. And the one benefit about this one is actually one of the ones that if you take damage, we can get a bit more of an assist attack. Come on, game. Let me scoot up, please. Avoid the attacks here. Slide here. So we get some auto healing up. And just like that, we are at the final boss. Not my best run, but not my worst either. The estimate is basically to cover if I die here. So position closely, do this here. Take a small hit there. Let's call that intentional. Position just so here. So we can get rid of the enemy before they launch the attacks. Now, fun fact, the final boss is in the over-the-shoulder mode. What do you think happens if a final boss takes a full screen's worth of damage? It goes boom. It dies pretty quickly. And now we'll transform back the fighter, and time is coming up. Once the screen fades to white, you'll see it right about time. As I said, not my cleanest run, and sad that I couldn't show you the 1cc on it. The arcade score on that one, not bad for all that stuff. It does give an actual clear time, but the clear time is only for stages, and it does not add in any times for death. So it's sort of like, the reason why RTA timing is used versus in-game is story mode does not have an in-game timer, and I didn't want to make people have to try to do the calculate how much time is lost if they die with the actual, actually having to do math, because math on Twitch, insert joke. Anyway, that's MACROSS Shooting Insight, the latest game in the franchise, which has been around for over 40 years, and finally a lot of the franchise is coming to the West later the year alongside a proper English translation to this game.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Mage, for showing us MACROSS Shooting Insight. Do you want to have shout out or like where we can find you, where we can find more of this game?
Twitch.tv/Mageuis1. That's Mageius1. I tend to try to speedrun anime games as well as any games that take my fancy. I'm someone that likes to root some speedruns, so I try to take good notes and find some games that people might not have seen, or maybe might be interesting to learn, or that can even just be useful for getting better at different games, or being able to transition between different genres of games. As I know for a fact, as someone who works retail, owns a house, and stuff like that, I don't have time to sit down and really practice sometimes. So having just some games that you can sit down, work on a little bit, and just keep up your skills and get better is something that I always do treasure, and always do recommend for my fellow speedrunners to have some stuff like that.
Alright. Thanks again for showing us that, MACROSS. So yeah, we are going to have another short intermission after this, and after the intermission, we are going to have the third most popular game in speedrun.com. Yeah, it's a fan favorite award-winning game, Celeste. So yeah, it will be exciting. I would very love to host it, but sadly this is actually the end of my hosting block. But not to worry, our own lovely co-producer Nick RP Green will take the hosting seat after this intermission.
Could have also passed along the effort of the animated speedrun community, but which is very popular as well. Anyway,
go check that out, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, again, after this, Nick RP Green will host you guys on Celeste, and yeah, so please keep tuning in on Pixel Perfect Marathon 4, and see you guys later.